My name is Noah Grant, and for over 6 years I poured my soul into a YouTube channel that I thought we were building together. The concept was simple but powerful. Stories of resilience from people who built something from nothing. I wanted to spotlight those who were ignored, dismissed, or underestimated. And for a while, it worked. The channel grew fast, thousands, then hundreds of thousands of subscribers. But behind the polished videos and growing fan base, only 2 people truly knew what it took to keep it running. Me and the man who stood in front of the camera, Tyler West. Tyler was my college roommate, my business partner, and someone I once called a brother. He had the face, the voice, the charisma. But I was the engine. I wrote the scripts. I researched every story. I A/B tested thumbnails until 3 a.m., ran 200 Gmail seeding accounts from 30 proxies, and even built the analytics tracker we used to optimize our uploads. I whispered ideas. He shouted them on camera. It wasn't always fair, but I believed in what we were building. Until one morning, everything went silent. I woke up to find myself locked out of the Google account. The shared Dropbox folder, empty. Every tool, every dashboard I had access to was wiped. At first, I thought it was a technical issue, but then I got a message. One line, pulled, final. We're restructuring the brand. Appreciate the help. Take care. No signature. No explanation. Just like that, I was cut out. I didn't cry. Not at first. I just sat at my desk, staring at the analytics page I could no longer access, listening to the buzz of my secondhand PC fan, a sound I'd once associated with progress. In a single move, he erased years of work, silenced my voice, and claimed full credit for a legacy we built together. And the worst part? No one knew. To the public, Tyler was the genius, the voice of the brand, the guy who built something from scratch. And I was a ghost. But ghosts have a strange way of returning when you least expect them. And this ghost, I wasn't going to stay invisible much longer.
The day I got locked out of the channel wasn't just the end of a working relationship. It felt like a digital execution. Tyler West had taken everything. Not just the content, but the audience, the reputation, and the narrative. While I sat staring at a dead login page, he was already live on Instagram, grinning into the camera, thanking fans for supporting his vision. I was furious. Every system that kept our growth alive was my invention. I was the one who stayed up building an underground seeding army, 200 Gmail accounts cloaked under rotating proxy servers, each one acting like a regular viewer. Watch time, comments, likes, even playlist saves. I A/B tested thumbnail contrast ratios against audience retention charts. I reverse-engineered titles using Reddit sentiment analysis. I studied watch behavior in different US time zones to boost click-through from homepage impressions. Tyler? Tyler couldn't even spell CTR correctly if you spotted him the C and the T. But he had one thing I didn't: the face. While I was buried in spreadsheets and Shadow Lab dashboards, he became the face of our brand, the storyteller, the founder. I had helped him build a throne, and now he was cutting off the architect. I tried to reach out, at first with calm. "Hey man, what's going on?" No response. Then I tried businesslike. "I noticed I no longer have access to the back end. Can we schedule a quick call?" Nothing. Finally, I got desperate. "You can take the channel, but don't erase the data architecture. That's years of tracking." Blocked. On everything. email, phone, Discord, even my personal TikTok, where I was quietly posting behind-the-scenes tutorials, shadow banned. I saw my own videos getting flagged the second they trended. Tyler wasn't just cutting me out. He was erasing my fingerprints. I felt rage building, not the loud, explosive kind, the quiet kind, the kind that boils beneath the surface while the world claps for your thief. What made it worse? Watching him talk. He went on a podcast 2 weeks later describing how he always knew storytelling was a science and leveraged an audience psychology framework to go viral. I nearly choked on my coffee. He was quoting my old Notion file, word for word. He name-dropped creators I helped him connect with. He claimed he ran split tests and had a background in neural feedback metrics. He had none of that. He once asked me what an impression was. I sat in my apartment, dark, silent, blinds down, watching the man who used to beg me for thumbnail ideas now act like he invented the algorithm. Meanwhile, my bank account sat at $83.12. I wanted to burn it all down. But I didn't. Not yet. Instead, I started building. Quietly. I reopened my old folders. Every tool I built, every seeding map, every GPT prompt I had refined to write story scripts, comment variations, and CTA sequencing still intact. He took the microphone, sure, but he didn't take the method. So I renamed the system, Project Blackroot, a content engine, not a channel, one that didn't need my face, just my brain, just results. And this time, no one was going to steal it. Not again.
While Tyler was basking in fake glory and rehearsed interviews, I was deep in what I called the blackout phase. No announcements, no pity posts, just work. Silent, surgical work. The pain still lingered. Watching someone else claim your identity is a form of grief. But pain is fuel, and I was ready to burn it wisely. That's when Project Blackroot shifted from a coping mechanism to a strategy. The idea wasn't just to start another channel. It was to build a self-sustaining growth machine, one that couldn't be hijacked again. I started by reevaluating everything I had once built for Tyler's brand, but never used for myself. I knew the back end better than most agencies. Heat maps, retention curves, CTR spikes, cold audience reactions. But this time, I added something new. Emotionally engineered storytelling. The kind that makes someone watch until the final second, not out of curiosity, but because they see themselves in the pain. And so, a new channel was born. Gray Frame. It was niche, hyper-targeted. Real stories about creators, gig workers, and dreamers who were betrayed or overlooked. Every video used the formula I never revealed. Emotional hook in 6 seconds. Story beats that follow injustice, rage, empowerment, and recognition. One keyword repeated in thumbnail, title, and first 30 seconds. Comment bait seeded by AI. I posted anonymously first. No face, no voice, just gripping visuals and a narrator voice built using a cloned AI version of my own tone. Raw but calm, shaken but steady. And it worked. The first upload, he fired me and claimed my viral idea. I built a channel to expose him, got 6K views in 24 hours. The second, she took my channel, so I took the market, hit 18K in 3 days. The fourth one exploded, over 270,000 views in a week. YouTube's backend lit up like a Christmas tree. Suggested traffic, 64%.
Average watch time, 7 minutes, 46 seconds. Like to view ratio, 9.2%. All organic. No ads, just well-placed seeding. 20 Gmail accounts with unique US proxies, each behaving like a passionate viewer. I left breadcrumb comments in niche subreddits, replied under competitor videos, even started fan fights using secondary accounts to trigger discussion. But here's what truly changed the game. I made my story part of the script structure, not as the story, but as a silent heartbeat underneath. Viewers didn't know my name, but they felt my scars. After 10 videos, I posted one that changed everything. The man behind the channel they stole. That's when I finally stepped into frame. I showed the receipts, the login timestamps, the original GPT prompts I'd built, the Notion files with Tyler's editing requests, even a voice memo from him thanking me for the 200K subscriber spike after we launched our seeding campaign. The comments poured in. You built the whole empire and got backstabbed. Respect. Subscribed. Day one fan now. This is what real creators look like. In 48 hours, Greyframe gained 60,000 subscribers. Emails followed, a feature request from a major tech creator, a brand deal offer from a startup I used to cold pitch for Tyler, and the sweetest of all, a message from Tyler's former editor. He's been trying to rebuild, but the videos feel empty now. You've got fire. That night, I sat in the same chair where I once wept, but this time I smiled. Not because I had won, because I had proven something to myself. I never needed a spotlight. I just needed a voice I refused to let die.
By the end of month 2, Greyframe had evolved from a rebound project into a fully formed digital force. The channel wasn't just surviving, it was thriving. And this time, I wasn't begging for scraps of credit. The credit came looking for me. The momentum had become undeniable. Comments flooded in from viewers who didn't just like the content, they felt it. There was something in the structure, the cadence, the honesty. It was more than a story, it was a shared truth. But the true turning point came when I got an unexpected DM on X, formerly Twitter. It was from Sienna Ray, a creator I admired for years. She wasn't just a storyteller, she was a strategist. Her threads on audience psychology and narrative-driven content had once taught me how to optimize retention curves. And now? She was messaging me. Hey, just binged 5 of your videos. This is next-level content strategy. Would love to feature your rebuild in my next newsletter. I reread it 5 times before I allowed myself to smile. Soon after, the ripple turned into a wave. Derek Van, the marketing guru known for his brutal teardown videos, posted a 6-minute segment breaking down my rise. He called it the most methodical comeback in YouTube history. His exact words? This guy didn't just come back. He came back with a vengeance. And with a framework. Within hours, Greyframe trended on YouTube's Creator on the Rise tab. Emails poured in from media outlets, niche tech reviewers, podcast producers. But what stunned me most was the invitation that landed in my inbox a week later. Subject: Main Stage Invite, Austin Creator Summit 2025. We'd be honored to have you speak about rebuilding after digital theft. Let us know if you're available. I had to sit down. I checked the summit's lineup, and that's when I saw it. Tyler West, listed as a breakout speaker. Topic: Scaling your story ethically in the creator economy.
I almost laughed. Ethically? There was no doubt in my mind. This wasn't just coincidence. It was collision. Two timelines about to intersect again. Only this time, I wasn't the one in the shadows. I was the headliner. I was the story. The morning of the conference was electric. I flew into Austin, stepped into the venue with a pass labeled speaker around my neck, and found myself walking past giant posters of creators I had once idolized. Now, I was on the same stage. I kept things professional. I didn't mention Tyler by name. I didn't need to. My talk, titled "He Took the Channel, So I Took the Market," spoke for itself. I walked the audience through how I engineered emotion using data, built community through invisible infrastructure, and turned betrayal into blueprint. I finished with one line that got a standing ovation. They can take your tools, your access, even your face from the brand, but they can't steal your mind, and they'll never match your fire if they've never known your hunger. After the talk, creators swarmed me backstage. Subscribed instantly. You're the blueprint now. Teach me how to build without being seen. That afternoon, I got tagged in a video clip from the summit. A moment caught on someone's phone. It showed Tyler walking into a panel room just as someone asked the moderator, "What do you think about the comeback story from Gray Frame?" The moderator smiled. He didn't come back. He leveled up. Tyler said nothing. The final punch? That evening, I released a video titled, "He Deleted Me, So I Rebuilt Without Him." It wasn't petty, it wasn't dramatic, it was reflective, methodical, and above all, calm. I showed the frameworks, the rebuilding process, the systems behind the scenes, and the world listened. The video hit 1.2 million views in 48 hours.
Tyler's name gradually stopped trending. The views on his channel plateaued, then dipped. The comments shifted tone, from admiration to confusion, then silence. It wasn't surprising. His new videos were clean, technically sharp, but soulless. No grit, no emotional pacing, no urgency. He tried hiring writers, but they couldn't mimic the rhythm, the emotional beats I'd spent years perfecting. He tried storytelling courses, ran paid ads, partnered with sponsors, but still, something was missing. That something was me. And by the time he realized it, the audience had moved on. Meanwhile, Gray Frame passed the 1,000,000 subscriber mark. No gimmicks, no drama. Just hard-earned trust and consistent storytelling. Viewers returned for more than just entertainment. They came for healing, and I gave them a voice by sharing mine. But numbers weren't what healed me. It was a message. I was checking my inbox one night, filtering spam, when I saw the subject line, "Your video saved me from another bad choice." It was from a 17-year-old named Kaling, an aspiring filmmaker in Oregon. I was about to sign with this studio that promised mentorship, but they were really just looking for cheap interns to do their content pipeline. Your story showed me the signs. I backed out, and I'm launching my own channel now. You made me believe I don't need anyone to give me permission to be great. I read that message 5 times. Then I closed my laptop and just sat there in the silence, smiling. That's when I realized something profound. This wasn't about Tyler anymore. It never really was. He didn't steal my career. He triggered my rebirth. I didn't just build a better channel. I built a movement, one that whispered to creators like Kaylee, "You don't need to play small to be accepted." The next few months were a blur of growth. I hired a lean team, 3 people who had all faced betrayal or burnout in other projects. We didn't just make content. We made statements. Every video was a manifesto.
Every title was a flag planted against the polished, fake-perfect aesthetic of the old creator economy. At 1.4 million subscribers, I had the reach I once dreamed of, but more importantly, I had purpose. I wasn't fighting for revenge. I was building a platform to protect and elevate others like me, those whose ideas were stolen, whose voices were muted, whose roles were reduced to the guy behind the camera. Then came the invitation, TEDx. They wanted me to speak at their Digital Creators Summit. The theme? Resilience in the Age of Noise. Perfect. On that stage, I shared my story, not with bitterness, but with clarity. I described how betrayal isn't the end. It's the beginning, if you let it be. I said, you don't need to fight fire with fire. Sometimes, you just build higher. Standing in front of hundreds of creators, investors, young students, and executives, I wasn't nervous. I was grounded. Later that evening, I got another DM. A short one. From Tyler. He wrote, "You win." I didn't respond, because it wasn't a competition anymore. This was peace.
Sometimes the deepest pain comes not from a loud betrayal, but from the quiet act of being erased, from watching someone else take credit for your soul's work and standing in applause while you're left in silence. But if there's one truth that echoed through every phase of this journey, from the rage that burned in the dark to the rebuilding of my voice, to the moment I reclaimed my power, it's this: you can steal the platform, but you can't steal the purpose. In part 1, I was blindsided, locked out, forgotten by someone I once trusted, but I didn't crumble. I paused. In part 2, I chose to rebuild, not louder, but smarter. I didn't chase revenge. I chased structure. And with every video, every seeded comment, every shadow viewer, I climbed back from the void. In part 3, I stood where I never thought I'd belong. On stage, surrounded by voices I once admired, now recognizing my own. I didn't need to shout. My work spoke for me. And in part 4, I closed the loop. Not with rage, but with resolve. I built something no one could delete, because it didn't live in a password. It lived in my principles, in the people who believed again, starting with me. The real win isn't the follower count. It's waking up and knowing that this time, every click, every view, every story told came from my own terms. Not stolen, not borrowed, but earned. To anyone watching this who's been through it, stabbed in the back, pushed out, made invisible, let this be your reminder. You are not invisible. You are in incubation, and when you rise, you will rise with fire they can't replicate. If this story hit you somewhere deep, drop a comment below. Tell me where you're rebuilding from. We're not alone in this fight, and if you're ready to write your own comeback story, hit that subscribe button. Let's grow on our own terms.